What's good, guys? My name's Will from Ghost Hack, and today I'm going to take you through the project file of the demo track for Ghost Hack's vocal package Ultimate Pop Vocals. Now, I'm not going to dilly-dally. I'm sure you know the drill. If you like the track or you're interested in vocals like these, then you can follow the link in the top of the description. We'll take you to this package. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started in this project file. So here we are. Project file, and I can start from the very beginning and show you the acapella that I had to work with. So you can hear we have a main vocal going on right here.
Look at me in the eyes.
And then we have some layers, some harmonies here.
Look at me in the eyes. Look at me, yeah. Look at me in the eyes.
So we have some ad-libs just coming in every now and then.
Nice, right.
And then we have like some left and right harmony action going on.
Sure, it feels nice. Look at me in the eyes, I know it feels nice.
And that layers together with the main vocal just to make it sound all round and like big and thick. So this is what I did to process the main vocal.
I know you've been asking for it.
I have a little bit of sound goodizer, not too much. I have a patcher that comes in just on occasion, which I'm going to get to in a second. It gives a really weird, cool vocal effect. And then I have an EQ, which is doing, basically nothing, just controlling a few frequencies here and then rolling off any low end that could be there. It really isn't. I just do that just out of habit. And then I have serum effects with some soft clipping, delay, and reverb.
I know you've been asking for it.
Actually, the soft clipping is disabled. Forget the soft clipping. Serum effects for just normal delay and reverb, pretty much. Ad-libs got a little bit of chorus.
Nice, right.
Same EQ as the other one and the same serum effects, but this one actually has the soft clipping enabled, so it's a little bit harsher there. The left and the right ones are going through the exact same channel where they just have the chorus, same as the ad-libs. They have the EQ, which is the exact same EQ as before. I'm also making sure to roll off the high end so it isn't too piercing. And then the exact same serum effects as the other one with the soft clip enabled. The soft clip was just a little much for the main vocal. That's all I found out. But altogether, those layer pretty nicely, and they're routed through one channel right here, the vocals channel, which has a patcher that I'm basically using as a telephone effect, which I only, bring in a certain part of the track. That's not always adding something to the vocal. But overall, I had a really nice vocal to work with here.
You got me feeling like
So I decided to start this track with a little kalimba. Just playing some very smooth chords. And then I layered that with a piano. We have an electric piano as well, which is actually playing an ARP that I'm fading in here. That just fades in for the intro, and then it comes in the track later. We got some strings here to make it nice and majestic. And also in the second half of this little intro, I threw in a little bass line. But I made sure that this didn't have any subs, so it didn't make the intro overly heavy. Got some reverse cymbals into little small cymbals. And then I have the main vocal singing here, but this is where the effect chain with the vocoder actually comes in. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually layering a few effects. I have pancake, first off, which is kind of panning the vocal around, back and forth. I have, after that, it's going through halftime, which halftime is just a cheap, like $12 plugin. And this is like slowing it down by half. And then I'm mixing that in, so it also sounds like it's lower in pitch. It's like down an octave as well. And when you mix that together, it gets some cool effects. So I have it running through pancake and halftime. It's going through an EQ, which is lowering the low end, is pretty much getting rid of the low end and doing some high end control here. But the main thing that's affecting this is the vocodex. It's going through a heavy vocodex, which adds a nice wet kind of juicy vocoder sound. Like it's kind of dissonant, and it has just a weird texture to it that I liked in the intro. And you can see I just have a ton of bands. The order's up to 3. The time's all down to minimum on RMS, and I have this unison all the way up. Also brought down the modular pitch shift, and you can see like the bandwidth isn't very high. You can see what the kind of settings I have here. I just kind of tweaked the settings until I found one that I liked. Then after that, it's running through another EQ that's really controlling the very high end. It's taking out all the low end and controlling some of these harsh mid frequencies as well. Because vocodecs can get a little extreme. We have a multi-band compressor here, which you can see how much it's compressing all of these bands. I really needed to squash this one down a lot. And then it's running through a reverb, which is just doing normal reverb stuff. It's just a very nice, solid reverb with a lot of early reflections, actually, which is kind of strange, but it worked out pretty well. And then it's running through a chorus that's making it kind of, wet and phasey and kind of watery sounding as well. And then in the end, it's running through a Maximus, which is doing very little other than just compressing the high end. Like that. And that's basically the effect chain on here that makes it kind of watery sounding, and it almost sounds like it's underwater. And that's what I'm using in the intro here.
Look at me in the eyes, yeah.
And then it transfers to the dry vocals. Once it goes into the first verse there, I have the kalimba and the keys still going on, but it's going into a little clap here. That just fades until it gets louder, and that's kind of a trappy, hip-hoppy clap. And I did that on purpose because I have some trappy, hip-hoppy drums hitting right here. And then you have your piano, your kalimba, and your arp playing over that, as well as the bass line. Your hi-hat action gets a little faster in the next part. And I bring in this 808, which I'm actually high passing. And that kind of follows the kick. Like so. And you can see the 808's running through a little bit of distortion, and then you can see what I'm doing with the EQ. I'm cutting out the high end, and then right now I'm lowering the bass. Once the drop hits, this bass will go up and you'll actually get some sub bass with your 808, so it sounds proper, but I just wanted to hint at that in the intro when everything else was playing. And of course, the vocals are doing their thing on top of this.
No, but really hard, boy, to say goodbye. If you give me a treat, boy, I'll give you my high.
And then after that verse, it goes into a breakdown where I have the kalimba and the keys still going. Just playing these nice mellow chords. But then I have some sound effects like a sub drop. There's an impact. Just a deep impact. And this is where we go into some more rising action. I have 3 different risers going on here. All ghost hack. As well as the little reverse cymbal that we've been hearing. And the vocals kind of go back to the hook that we heard in the intro.
Look at me in the eyes, yeah. Look at me in the eyes,
And then before it drops, I layered together these hays.
Hey,
So it's like a normal one.
hey,
And a lower one.
eyes, hey.
And then it will go into the drop from there. And in the drop, you got your trappy drums. You get the addition of a little cymbal ride here. I have, of course, the kalimba, the piano, the E-piano harp, and the strings. Sounds nice and melodious. And then I have the 808 that's actually got, thick bass now. We have the rolling bass, kind of like you heard in the intro. Again, there's no sub in that, so it's not really fighting with the 808. And then I also have some brass hits that kind of follow along the pattern. But the fun part about this is the vocal chop. And what I did was this little vocal chop here was taken from the acapella. I just went in and found a specific vowel that I wanted to play on the keyboard. I think this is when she's saying the word I, which works out pretty well because the title of this acapella is Eyes.
Eyes.
So the vocal chop is playing its little melody. And then in the second half of the drop, we have some melody layers. And I just did some fun stuff where I like took the same pattern and I moved it up an octave and I like scooted it over and I switched around some notes. It looks like chaos, but it was actually kind of strategic. And obviously there's a lot of effects on this right here. I have a sound goodizer. There's a little bit of halftime like I showed you before that kind of slows it down by half to give it an interesting texture. That's at like 20%. I have some crush here, which crush is a free plugin. It's just downsampling. It's just a little bit of bit crushing to give it more texture in the top end. We have more chorus, which is more texture. That's like the third time I've used the word texture just in this chain. But chorus makes it sound all nice and smooth. We have an EQ, which is same EQ as the other vocals, and then serum effects, which is the same as the other ones. And I took off the soft clipping because it was just a little much. But there's a lot of delay in this one. Just to fill in those little spaces where the vocal doesn't hold out. And then the last half, I brought back the more watery vocal. And then it goes back to the normal vocals for the outro. And the outro just has our instruments playing with the bass. We have the impact, cymbals, and then it all just wraps up. So now that you know what's going on in the track, let me go ahead and play you the final result.
Look at me in the eyes, yeah. Look at me in the eyes. I know for sure it feels nice. Look at me in the eyes, I know it feels nice, yeah. I know you've been asking for it. Got you in numbness for it. But what's on your mind is for it. You got me feeling like my. I know it's really hard, boy, to say goodbye. If you give me a treat, boy, I'll give you my heart. Get you out of my mind. Look at me in the eyes, yeah. Look at me in the eyes. I know for sure it feels nice. Look at me in the eyes, I know it feels nice. Hey.
So there was the demo track. Again, if you're interested in this package, there are more vocals that come in this package. There are actually 5 construction kits that come in this package, this track being one of them. But you can find the link for it in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. I've done projects with all of them and they get the Will from Ghost Hack seal of approval, which is of course the most valuable accolade in music production today. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you all so much for your support, and I will see you in the next video. Happy producing.